Camping can teach you a lot about the land, about preparation, and about yourself. My first real trip was over 25 years ago in the Boundary Waters canoe area, a remote part of northern Minnesota, not far from where I'm camping this weekend. Back then, I had no idea what I was doing. My canoe was loaded with way too much gear, cheap, heavy, and mostly unnecessary. I struggled through portages, exhausted by the weight of things I thought I needed. But every trip was a lesson. Over time, I refined my setup, cutting the excess, dialing in what worked, until I could fit everything I needed into a single backpack. It wasn't just about packing lighter, it was about traveling smarter. Overlanding has been a similar journey. When I started, my rig was overloaded. Too much gear, too much weight, and a setup that looked good on paper, but didn't match the way I actually traveled. Experience has a way of teaching you what's important. Last year I made the switch from a ground tent to a rooftop tent. And while I loved the convenience, I quickly realized that my setup was too top-heavy for the kind of terrain I wanted to tackle. That's what led me to the tent I'm featuring in this video, the FSR Aspen Lite. An ultralight rooftop tent weighing only 100 pounds and designed to help reduce weight up top and lower my center of gravity. They didn't reach out to me and ask me to promote their product. I did my own research and decided this was the right fit for my style of overlanding. Winter camping in Minnesota is a unique experience. The drive itself is part of the adventure. Traveling with friends through these snow-covered trails makes the journey to camp just as memorable as the destination. After hours on the road, we found the perfect spot. A secluded campsite with a view of a frozen lake. With the day coming to a close, it's time to set up the FSR Aspen Lite and get ready to settle in for the night.
All right, it's a beautiful morning here in northern Minnesota. I just got done spending the second night in this Aspen Lite tent. I have to say that I was rather comfortable for how small and lightweight this tent is. It has a 51-degree angle. Even though I'm 6'2", I had plenty of room for my feet, so I slept end to end. FSR says that this is good for people up to 6 feet, but at 6'2", I was able to lay on my back and I was just perfectly comfortable. Besides that kick out on the back just adds a lot of extra space up there as well. If you're thinking of doing 2 full-size people and a dog, I would recommend going to their XL size. It's pretty cozy up there. It's a tighter space, which is what I actually wanted. As far as being comfortable, that thing has their FSR Air Core mattress. That's a self-inflating, about 2.5 to 3 inch mattress, and it's really comfortable. I was just as comfortable sleeping in that as I was in my regular bed. If you want to top it off, it does self-inflate, but I have this little Flextail Air Pump that I just kind of tap into there, and I'll just top it off to make sure it's nice and full before I go to bed. As far as the build quality, this thing is what I would expect from a higher end tent. The tri-layer fabric, you could tell that this thing is heavily insulated, and it got down to 0 degrees here in northern Minnesota. That's Fahrenheit, not Celsius. And I stayed nice and warm in there with my diesel heater. So it did a great job of insulating the tent. Everything else on there too is just really well done. The zippers have great big handles on them. So if, say you're winter camping like I am, you're opening up your tent with gloves on, it's really easy to access. Some other features that this tent has, these aren't unique to this FSR tent, but it does have diesel heater ports on both sides, which, as you can see, came in pretty handy the last couple nights. I just used my Hcalory Diesel Heater, and I brought that EcoFlow up into the tent with me and plugged it in. And I think I was in the tent by about 8 o'clock last night. I stayed nice and warm in there until 8 o'clock this morning. Now this tent has everything you'd expect from a higher end tent, but what makes it unique is the fact that it's an ultralight tent coming in at 100 pounds. That's really important for me because my whole goal is to lower my center of gravity, and I'm shaving off about 75 to 80 pounds off the top of my vehicle, which is huge. The way that FSR did this was they really rethought the idea of a clamshell tent. tent. It's no longer this hard shell aluminum tent. What they did was they replaced the top aluminum with this very durable fabric. It's not supposed to tear. And then the bottom, they put in this slat system, kind of like a bed frame. And on top of that, they put kind of a rigid surface that you can lay your air core mattress on. So you have no idea that you're in this kind of floorless tent. It's basically like if you took a ground tent and strapped it to the top of your vehicle and then put a nice rigid floor system in that. And that engineering is really why this thing is so light.
The FSR Aspen Lite is a well-designed addition to my overlanding setup. It's lightweight, practical, and delivers the comfort needed for the types of adventures I take. If you want to learn more about the tent or Free Spirit Recreation, check the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Until next time, this is Destination Journey.